So finally, after all the rumors, leaks and speculation, Nintendo made it official. Switch 2 is real, its release date is set to June 5th, 2025, and it's bringing a whole bunch of insanely awesome Switch 2 games with it. Oh, and we'll also get video chat, so now you'll get to see the dead stare on your best friend's face as they slip on your banana peel, racing through the Rainbow Road even when you're not together. One of the most exciting reveals was the confirmation that some of the best third-party game titles will be making their way to Switch 2. Some of these will be brand new games, while others are some of the biggest recent releases out there. If you missed out on any of these modern masterpieces, this might be the best way to experience them. These are the titles that should take full advantage of the bigger screen and improve performance, playing whether docked or in handheld mode. For every gamer who is a wizard or a witch at heart, Hogwarts Legacy is a dream come true. No other game lets you experience the wizarding world the way it does, and it's nothing short of spectacular. The moment I walked through the castle halls, explored hidden passageways, and flew over the Forbidden Forest, I felt as if I was in one of the movies. And needless to say, I was hooked. It's truly one of the most immersive games out there, and it feels alive in almost every sense of the word. However, if you're waiting for it to drop on Switch 2 so you can go through it again, why not check out other awesome games like Hogwarts Legacy, such as Legend of Zelda or Fire Emblem. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a love letter to one of the greatest RPGs ever made, and it's simply incredible. From the first step into Midgar's neon-lit streets, you're hooked, and it only gets better from there. The combat departs from the old formula and instead perfectly blends real-time action and turn-based battles, keeping every fight actually intense, and the story is quite a bit more fleshed out too, making it a whole lot more emotional than before, which gives a lot of life to the characters and the place they live in. To sum things up, taking down a giant robotic scorpion with a buster sword has never felt better before. While it's just part one of the full journey, it's still an absolute must-play. Whether you're a Final Fantasy game veteran or just love epic semi-open world RPGs, this one deserves a spot in your game collection. Street Fighter VI is everything a great fighting game should be. Fast, flashy, and packed with style. While there are some other games that may come close, there are none that do it better. And that's exactly why it's so awesome. The combat feels smooth but still has that weighty impact that makes every punch, kick and special move satisfying. The roster is stacked from classic legends like Ryu and Chun-Li to fresh faces with wild moves. But whether you're testing your skills online or battling friends locally, there is always someone pushing you to get better. And of course, don't forget about the World Tour mode. To put it plainly, Street Fighter VI is hands down one of the greatest fighting games and one of the best games in the series. Don't miss out on it, especially if you love Super Smash Bros. And other similar titles. Yakuza Zero is the most exciting and fun piece of pure chaos packed in a game I've ever experienced, and it's absolutely incredible. It's like your own adventure where you decide how much crime and comedy you want. One moment, you're in a brutal street brawl taking down thugs with over-the-top combos. Next, you're running a cabaret club, singing karaoke, or betting on pocket circuit races. The story is easily one of the greatest Yakuza games, while the side quests stay just as legendary, surprising you almost every single time. Of course, if you never played these games, you should know that aside from that, the pacing can be quite slow at times, but other than that, it's definitely not a game to pass up on. Have you ever wanted to dive into an exclusive adventure game that is like a mashup of your favourite games with a ton of wonderful surprises? Split Fiction is exactly that, and it will keep you and whoever you partner up with on your toes. You're navigating a neon-lit sci-fi city one moment and exploring a magical forest the next. Oh, and you do that all the while going through different game genres too, all of which is blended absolutely seamlessly. The puzzles are clever, requiring genuine teamwork, combat is engaging, and the narrative keeps you hooked. Basically, if you love games like It Takes Two and A Way Out, this is that, only 10 times better. They might not make too many co-op games out there these days, but when they do, they're not something you want to miss. Step into the polished shoes of Agent 47, a master assassin with a talent for creative problem solving. In Hitman World of Assassination, stealth gaming is at its absolute finest. Every level in this engaging spy game is an intricate puzzle, with the seemingly simple goal: eliminate your target. But how do you do it? That's where the magic happens. Poison their drink, rig a chandelier to fall, or disguise yourself as a waiter. The possibilities are nearly endless. The game offers a massive sandbox experience across stunning locations, from a bustling Dubai skyscraper to a vineyard in Argentina. The attention to detail is incredible, and the AI keeps you on your toes. There isn't too much of a story, but that's not a big problem because these modern Hitman games are all about gameplay. Once you get into it, you'll never play stealth games the same again. Give it a shot, trust me, you'll be glad you did. Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess, the stunning RTS game which was released just last year, went completely under most radars. In fact, I only learnt about it by pure chance a couple of weeks ago. Yet it's absolutely incredible and most definitely worth your attention. Imagine a game where you're immersed in Japanese folklore with an epic, action-packed narrative and gorgeous visuals. You play as Sai, who is tasked with protecting a sacred mountain from waves of supernatural enemies, all while guiding the goddess in her purification journey. And yes, it's as awesome as it sounds. I've had hours of fun just experimenting with different abilities and strategies. It's one of those games that, despite being an action title, leaves you thinking about it long after you've put it down. And what's better than that? If you're a Star Wars fan, I can probably guarantee that you've always wished for an open-world game set in the Star Wars universe. I know I have. That's why it was so incredible to finally get to play Star Wars Outlaws, a simply unmatched Star Wars game. Playing as Kay Vess, a sharp, quick-witted outlaw, you dive straight into the gritty yet completely alive underworld of the galaxy. You explore detailed planets, hop into intense space battles, and feel like you're truly a part of the Star Wars universe. The story is immersive and the combat mechanics are fun, and even though the stealth parts could use a bit more polish, overall this game is nothing short of brilliant. So if you love the Star Wars universe, Outlaws should definitely be on your list. Animal Crossing New Horizons turned island life into the ultimate cozy escape that we all fell in love with. While there are no other exact games like Animal Crossing, we're all pretty certain that it's going to make its way to the Switch 2 in some form. But before it does, why not come back to this gem for more? Even though Kirby Air Riders is bringing a high-speed twist to the franchise, Kirby and the Forgotten Land prove that really cozy games can be thrilling too. Become everyone's favourite pink puffball and dive into this charming world with creative platforming that you won't want to leave anytime soon. Donkey Kong 3D Adventure is bringing the King of the Jungle to new heights with massive worlds and the classic fun of iconic platformer games. But while we wait, Donkey Kong Country returns. HD proves why DK remains a legend, and if you haven't yet had a chance to experience it, you're missing out. Mario Kart World is set to redefine multiplayer games for Nintendo Switch with fresh tracks, an open world, and pure racing chaos. But while we wait, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe remains a must-play, setting the gold standard for racing fun. Get ready, cause the best of the Switch games is only getting better. Despite all the drama that came with its release, Cyberpunk 2077 is hands down one of the most immersive RPGs I've played in years. There's simply no other game with an atmosphere quite like that. You get thrown into the neon-soaked and endlessly chaotic Night City, where every choice shapes your path and the lives of those around you. The world is truly living, full of possibilities, and the story is insanely gripping, making you actually live through it, not just simply play through it. While the game had an undeniably rough launch, it has since more than redeemed itself. It really is one of a kind, but if you love great open-world RPGs with immersive stories, there are other great games like Cyberpunk 2077 that you might just fall in love with. It's a true standout for the best Nintendo Switch 2 games lineup. For those who love a good challenge, Elden Ring is simply unmatched. It's massive, mysterious, and full of jaw-dropping moments, including an absolutely spectacular world, co-written by George R.R. Martin himself. One second you might be riding across golden fields, and the next you're face to face with a terrifying boss that can crush you in 2 hits. But that's the beauty of it, because every step you take forward feels truly earned. Naturally, just like every other Dark Souls game, it's tough, so prepare to struggle. It's long too, but it's worth every second. Deltarune is another fantastic indie game that grips you from the moment you dive in. Its quirky characters, deep storytelling, and unique combat mechanics are nothing short of brilliant. The blend of humor, emotion, and absurdity will keep you laughing one moment and feeling genuinely moved the next. The world building is fantastic, with vibrant visuals that pull you into every area. The turn-based combat, while straightforward, is quite clever, and the multiplayer mode options make it a blast to enjoy with friends. Even though the pacing can feel a bit slow at times, the characters and plot make up for it. Deltarune currently has 2 out of 4 planned chapters available for free, while the rest will be paid after they drop together with Switch 2. Puyo Tetris 2 is one of those addictive puzzle games that will pull you in with its fast-paced gameplay and endless multiplayer mode, where you can easily find yourself playing with your friends late into the night. The colourful visuals and smooth animations make everything feel fresh, and the variety of modes keeps things exciting, whether you're playing solo or in local co-op with up to 4 players. What really sets this apart from other puzzle games is the strategic depth you can find in Tetris and the quirky, fun vibe of Puyo. It's just a blast. If there's a downside, it's that it can be hard to master, especially in the later stages, but that's part of the charm. Breath of the Wild redefined the Zelda series, and Tears of the Kingdom took already fantastic Zelda games to new heights. Both of these legendary Switch titles deliver breathtaking exploration, creative freedom, and unforgettable moments. If you haven't experienced Hyrule's magic yet, you'll be able to catch their revamped versions on Switch 2 once it drops. Or you could play them right now. This notable Civilization game simply hooks you and doesn't let go easily. You start up a quick session and find yourself planning a grand conquest strategy hours or even days later. Being the leader of a grand civilization is fun in its own right, and it simply pulls you in. Whether you go with the peaceful approach or set your sights on world domination, you soon end up making decisions that span entire eras. The mix of strategy, diplomacy, and resource management is second to none, and the new 3-age system adds a unique twist that keeps each game fresh. However, the main beauty is in the detail because each decision feels significant. The game has improved on that, as well as almost every other front when compared to its predecessors. And while it does have some rough edges yet to be polished, it's a truly great title, especially for those who love grand strategy games. I'm a huge fan of the original Hades game, so when I learned that a sequel is coming out for this iconic roguelike game, I was psyched. And let me tell you, even though it's still an early access title we're talking about, it does not disappoint. This time around, you as Zagreus' sister, Melino, which is honestly such a fresh twist. As you step into Hades' daughter's shoes, the story pulls you straight in. And when it comes to the combat, it's as smooth and exhilarating as ever, with even more powerful weapons and abilities to play around with. The soundtrack is pure fire too. Every beat feels like it's pushing you forward, making each run feel exciting. And the best part is that the game is still being perfected for the full release, so you know it's only going to get better. Still, if you're as itching to play it as I was, it's available. And even in its current state, I would say Hades 2 is well worth your time. Fortnite is one of those memorable battle royale games that keeps you coming back for more. It feels like it's already been around forever, and yet it not only goes on but also keeps getting better. I still remember jumping into my first match. The fast-paced action was incredibly awesome, and yet the building part was mind-boggling. But once everything starts to click, you just can't find anything quite like it. The thrill of dropping in, scavenging for loot, and trying to outsmart other players in ever-changing maps never gets old. Probably the best part about the game is how ever-evolving it is. The new updates always shake things up, and challenges keep things fresh. It's already available on pretty much every modern gaming platform out there, and now, once Switch 2 drops, things are going to get even more fun. So, if you like Battle Royale games, give it a shot. It's one of the greatest, for a reason. Oh yeah, and it's free.